At 50, I realized that there were things that I needed to let go of in order to be really happy. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 things that completely changed my life, and hopefully they will change yours too. 5 years ago, I was a completely different person. I was in and out of toxic relationships. I happened to be in a relationship that was not functioning well at that time. And fast forward to today, I am out of that relationship. I feel so much more comfortable in my own skin. I feel at peace with myself. So much has changed in a short 3 to 5 years. And so I'm excited to share what some of those changes are. We're told that if we push harder, socialize more, keep looking outside of ourselves, that we'll eventually find happiness. But what if the real secret was to learn what we needed to let go of in order to be happier? I used to chase love constantly outside of myself, looking for other people, other men, to validate me, to show me what love was all about, to complete me, so to speak. And I found myself in monogamous relationships, one after the other, mostly toxic, unhealthy relationships, and I didn't understand why I kept repeating the pattern. So one of the things that I quit doing was looking for love outside of myself. I really took a step back, and I'm still in that phase of stepping back and learning how to truly love myself. And through this process, I'm learning that that's where it needed to begin. I needed to learn to love myself before I could start to search the appropriate person that would not complete me, but that I could share my life with as a complete person. Another complete person sharing their life with me, the other complete person, versus looking for someone to fill a void. And that was one of the things that I quit, was looking for love outside of myself. The second thing that I quit doing was seeking validation from others. I used to seek validation from my family, from society, from friends, again, outwardly. And I stopped doing that. I mostly learned that I was seeking a lot of validation from my mother because I was the eldest of 6 kids. She did her best with all of us, but there wasn't enough time and attention to go around for each one of us. And I felt like I always needed to prove myself to my mom, that I needed to prove that I was worthy of her love and her attention. And so when I started to realize that, that's when I started to do self-therapy as well as therapy from other people, meditation, journaling, all kinds of personal and spiritual growth, therapy and modalities. And that was one of the things that I let go of, was finally saying I don't need to seek validation from others to feel like I am worthy of being loved, that I am worthy of existing and being who I am. That's good enough. And while, a small caveat, I'm not perfect at it, I sometimes still do seek validation, for instance, from my mom. I've gotten so much better at not seeking it out. So am I perfect at it? No, but I am super happy with the progress that I've made, and I am looking forward to continuing to grow in this area. The third thing that I let go of was beating myself up for past mistakes. Oh boy, have I been hard on myself most of my life. So I stopped doing that. And the way that I stopped doing that was to instead give myself self-compassion for the mistakes that I made, because most of them were done because I didn't know any better. And so, for example, I remember a long time ago, I gave someone close to me bad real estate advice, and I really beat myself up about that. But I didn't do it to harm the person or with any kind of bad intention. I just didn't know any other way. And real estate professionals, even back then, this was during the real estate crash in 2008, were advising the same thing. So I was just repeating what everyone else was doing. Everyone else was doing the same bad advice, but we all didn't know any better. So I had to learn to give myself self-compassion about that as well. And there are so many other mistakes that I've made. And again, some of them may have been from being naive. Some of them were from being stupid at the time. And a lot of them were because I simply didn't know any better. And now that I know better, I do better. You know, like they say, when you know better, you do better. So giving myself lots of self-compassion has been part of the process. Another thing that I let go of is harsh workouts. Now, I pride myself on trying to follow a healthy lifestyle. I really am big on trying to be as healthy as you can, especially as we age, because you don't want to lose bone density, muscle mass, and then have chronic conditions and bone issues and et cetera, et cetera. But having said that, I still struggle with menopause belly fat, for example, and something that I'm still challenged by and trying to find good ways of combating that. But having said that, I used to be someone that was really into all pain, no gain. You know, I came from that mentality. So I was really accustomed to really harsh workouts, you know, HIIT training, just really going at it at the gym for a big part of my life. And now I'm realizing that my body is responding better to more gentle workouts. Still resistance training is a part of it, although I could do a little bit more, quite frankly. But I'm also incorporating things like lymphatic drainage, rebounding, and the vibration plate, which I'm really enjoying. So health is still a huge part of my life, but I've let go of the harsh workouts and I'm embracing more of the gentle workouts. Still the yoga, the walking. I signed up for a Tai Chi course recently. So things like that. I think it's important for us to slow down a bit and really listen to our bodies, which is what I'm doing now. And lastly, the thing that I have also let go of is over-socializing. Oh my goodness, I used to be a social butterfly. I believed in networking, meeting everybody, being in 3 places at once, if that was even possible. I just spread myself really thin. My relationships were more shallow. And because of that, I pride myself on really selecting who I spend time with. I pride myself on spending time with my pets. And if I let new people into my life, I'm a lot more discerning. So over socializing is out the door. I'm so glad that I've quit that. I really embrace my inner peace, my calm environment, and not feeling like I need to be in too many places at one time. So sometimes happiness isn't about adding more, it's about letting go. It's creating space for what's going to give you more health, more happiness, and joy. Which one of these things that I mentioned resonated with you most? Put it in the comments. And if you're in midlife and looking for a soulful shift, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I post videos on average about once a week. You know, it's sometimes a week and a half, but I'm working on that. And if you're curious about why I avoid people after 53, be sure to check out that video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.